LinuxFX. It's a weird Linux distro that's built to look and feel exactly like Windows 11. Not only just the looks, but also functionality. It supposedly natively runs Windows applications, Android, and of course Linux applications. And it even comes with a lot of proprietary Microsoft garbage. It comes with Microsoft Edge pre-installed. It comes with OneDrive pre-installed. Now, although this is built on Linux, it's anything but a Linux because it's not open source, it's not free, it comes with telemetry, and it even comes with a voice assistant if for some reason you want to be recorded 24/7. And funnily enough, the only reason this came to my radar is because I came across an article about them having a data breach where a lot of their user data got leaked. So I would say they have done a really great job of capturing the Windows 11 feel by being a paid, bloated, proprietary garbage with terrible security. But regardless, I love weird, quirky operating systems, and this one seems to be weird and different enough, so I decided to take a look at it. So I got it installed here on a virtual machine, and we're gonna try and see what the experience is gonna look like. Is it actually usable? What can you do with it? Can you remove the proprietary Microsoft garbage? Can you actually use it as your daily driver? Two things I immediately noticed is, first of all, I already set up this machine on pre-installed LinuxFX. So I've already set up the resolution to be 1920 by 1080, but on the display manager, it shows the wrong resolutions. They could have converted the resolution from inside the OS to the display manager, but they didn't bother doing that. So that's already a red flag. Secondly, it's built on KDE Plasma, as you can tell from there. Anyways, so this is looking very Windowsy. And then for some reason, they even decided to take the Windows logo. Like, why? And we get a notification. Hey, you're using the free version, by the way. You're running on a trial mode, so come pay for this proprietary garbage. And we have security updates. Yeah, so they have captured the Windows feel. As soon as you install Windows, the same thing, right? You get the security updates that forces you to install them right away, and then they ask you to pay for their stuff immediately as soon as you install Windows. So this is so far feeling actually pretty close. Now, I will say, just looking at this, I've not touched it yet. I just installed it and have not done anything. It looks very similar to Windows. Like, they got the colors matched correctly, they got the menus got matched correctly, the icons are all correctly, fucking Edge is just chilling there. Let's see, oh, they're using Dolphin for this, but it's themed to look like Windows 11. Now, I don't think Windows 11 looks bad. I think Windows 11 actually looks pretty nice. It's just, it's quite bloated for my use, and I just don't like it. Like, you can also tell there's a lot of like KDE Plasma elements here. Like, if you ever use Linux KDE Plasma, then you immediately spot a lot of similarities here and there. I just want to check the settings, menus, and preferences and see if they actually have put the effort to theme that, or is it just the desktop. So this is from KDE Plasma, so they have not done much there. Oh, there's also KDE Plasma. They changed the icons and the colors, but like, they have not necessarily designed their own theme. They can just like modify an already existent free theme. And they have a weird search. See, can I find settings? System settings. Now this is very Windowsy looking, and I think the Windows UI actually looks pretty good. We came a really long way from Windows XP and the boxy feel of Windows XP and Windows 7, and even more boxier Windows 8. So if I write shell, we have PowerShell, we have console. I'm gonna use console for now because I prefer console, and then we can take a look at PowerShell later. So I want to know what this is built on. So you name the A. So it's built on Ubuntu, so we should be able to just use apt, right? Yeah. Oh, what is this? The scroll wheel is bound to virtual desktops. Why? Like, this is annoying. Because you could like have your mouse anywhere, right? For example, like I was scrolling up and down here, but I had my mouse like on the side, and I did this, and I was like, wait a minute. That's such an annoying feature. Now, one of the big reasons why I'm very skeptical of this is like, I don't see why would anyone really want to use this. Because like, if you want to use Windows, just use Windows, right? And if you don't want all that Windows proprietary garbage, and you don't want you to use Windows, then use Mac or Linux. So I can't find a situation where you want Windows and Linux combined to one system. Because like, here's the thing, like if you're using Windows and you want to run Linux applications, then you can easily do that with Windows subsystem for Linux, right? If you are using Linux and you want to run Windows applications, then either use Wine or use virtual machines. But this just seems like weird. Like I said, if it's that close to Windows, then what's the point? why even run this? Because it's probably not going to be as good as Windows, and it's not going to be as good as Linux. So it's going to be a really terrible Linux distro, and it's going to be a really terrible Windows machine. Alright, so now we got our drivers installed. This should be a bit smoother. Let's see what we have in here. I kind of want to take a look at install applications. Let's see all apps. What do we have in here? Advanced network configuration. This is KDE. This is not Windows, so they have not done much with this. They just copy pasted it. We got Teams in here, if you're into that. What is this cover? Is that just a plasma package thingy? Yeah, this is kind of slow. It's actually surprisingly slower than running a Windows virtual machine. Look, I'm pressing there. I'm clicking only once. And it's automatically closing it. It's also as buggy as Windows. Hello? Oh no. I opened Teams and it did something. Most of the stuff here are from KDE Plasma. They're not even from Windows. We got Microsoft Edge, Calendar, Excel, Note. They're all online though. OneDrive, Ocular, only Office Excel. Okay. Steam. Uh-oh. It just broke. Uh-oh. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, every time Teams opens, the system just fucks itself for some reason. Let me just quit Teams. Alright, so that's broken. Whatever. Let's try to actually use this thing. So we go to Edge. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to use this the way it's intended, as a Windows machine. Let's start with something real light. Let's say WinRAR. WinRAR should just run, right? Because you can run it on Wine, no problem. It should just work. It's an exe file, open. For security reasons, you're not allowed to launch executables in this context. Alright. Don't mind having Wine pre-built. Because, you know, Wine is sometimes can be intimidating for some people to install. So that's kind of nice. They already have it pre-configured. So, let me see. Is it going to show up there? No, it's not going to show up there. Okay, is it going to show up there? Okay, it's going to show up there. Yeah. So that works, but this was really easy. Like you can run WinRAR on a fucking potato. Even though it's a Windows application, it works just fine. Now I'm going to step it up a notch, and I'm going to try Fusion 360. Now that's a program that I use from time to time. I've become very accustomed to using it. The problem with the software, it only runs in Windows and Mac. And trying to get it to run on Linux is an actual nightmare. If they can actually get this to run here, I'll be surprised. This program is one of those cases where you will want to run proprietary software on your Linux machine because you either use it at your work or it's the only kind of software that you know how to use and you want to do something with it. Now, for some reason, CAD really fucking hates Linux. I don't know why. Look, I can't even download it. Why? Because I'm on a Linux machine. Watch this. If I go to Developer Tools and I go to Network. Alright, now if I change my browser to something Windowsy, I say Chrome on Windows, and then I refresh this page. Watch this. Now it works. Now they let me download it because they think I'm on a Windows machine. Like what? Why? Anyways, let's try to see if this works. Alright, so it did kinda install Fusion, but it does not really work. Please reinstall. So it didn't do a good job installing Fusion. Something went wrong in the installation process, so that's another red flag. Because I know you can technically run Fusion 360 on Linux, it's just kind of pain to get it running. So that's why I wanted to try it. Now, something might be even harder to run than Fusion will be Creative Cloud. A lot of people need Creative Cloud for their work and even hobby. So that's one of those things is like almost impossible to run on Linux unless you have a really beefy PC on a virtual machine. So let's see if it actually runs in here. I doubt it will do anything, but we'll see. No, I don't think so. I don't think it has a chance to get this running. Yep, it's just chilling there, doing nothing. Like if I spend some time on it and I try to dial it in, I could probably try to get Fusion to run on this machine. But I mean, what's the point? Most people are going to be downloading this distro are people who don't know Linux that well. So they want something that's easier to work with, such as, you know, if it's really close to Windows, they think it's easier to work with. But if it's not going to let you run natively your work applications, then you might as well just stick with Windows. Why? Like, I don't get it. So forget running heavy productivity applications. How about Android? This promises to run Android. I don't know what this is. Warning, CPU virtualized disabled by in your BIOS. Alright, so it requires CPU virtualization. I'll go ahead and do that. Nothing unexpected. I didn't expect this to run Photoshop or anything, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, it's still buggy as hell. What is it's Teams? Teams always. Let me just delete this shit. Do they have like a program manager in this thing? Programs. Oh, they just use the KDE Plasma thing. Yeah, right. Installed. I never use application managers. Forgive me, bro. Freaking Teams. Just give me a console. Give me a console. Remove Teams. Yes, please delete this shit. It's auto starting every time and fucking everything up. It's frozen. Alright, well do your thing. Let's see if Android applications get on. So Windows applications are not gonna have a good time on this one. Android image virtual machine I guess, yeah, do your thing. Wait, so that's the worst fucking console I've seen in my life. So essentially, what it's gonna do is gonna boot up a virtual machine with Android on it to run Android applications. And that's why it wanted me to enable virtualization for this machine. So technically the feature of running Android applications, it's not really specific to this operating system. You can do it on any operating system. It's downloading an Android operating system, so it can run it in a virtual machine. But hey, you know what? Maybe the integration is great. Maybe it will just stream the application to you. You know like what Windows does, where you can just run an application without having like to run inside a virtual machine or you know use something weird like a BlueStacks. And I'll wait for it. We'll see. Got a torrent downloader by default. All right. And all these are web apps, so you don't really install them. So if you try and run Word on your actual machine because you want the performance of it and the like functionality of it, you cannot do that. You have to do it in the browser. Emoji selector. Hello A. Hello A. Yes, connect. I need to give it my Google account. Okay, well I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Well, if you wanna have this thing spawning on you 24/7, then here you go. It's just chilling in there. But you have to activate it manually, unlike Windows where it's pre-activated. I don't like how slow is this. Like normally I could run Windows virtual machines faster than this. Let me check my PC usage. PC usage, my PC is 20%. I gave this virtual machine half of my cores and half my memory, but it's not utilizing like, you know, barely any of it. Hello? It does not want to run. I don't know why. I'm gonna give it a restart. Maybe that's what it needs, you know? I'm trying to give this operating system as much opportunity as possible to shine, but so far it has failed at being a Windows machine, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna fail at being an Android machine or like an Android emulator, and I don't think it's gonna be a good Linux machine either, so we'll see. Alright, just keep asking me to buy this crap. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe disable OpenGL. It's gonna work. Okay, I disabled OpenGL and it worked. This Android virtual machine, which is stuck in a loop and restarting over and over again, like double fault, error code, kernel panic. Okay, well, as I said, it sucked at being a Windows machine, it sucked at being an Android emulator machine, kind of. I don't know. So what we have here is like we can't really run heavy Windows applications. We can't really run Android applications either. For some reason, it's giving me kernel panic. It could be because I'm in a virtual machine, even though it's still like it's using a virtual machine to run Android applications is not the most efficient way. Neither is the most elegant solution compared to like Windows 11. Almost like it feels like it's natively supported in Windows 11 compared to like this garbage. I think Linux applications should work just fine. Like I don't see a reason why they will not work. Yeah, it's meant to be usable as a Linux machine. But again, this whole thing is built on Ubuntu, so I don't expect it to not run Linux applications. Otherwise, then this is completely useless if it does not run anything, neither Windows, Android, or Linux applications. Like, what's the point then? So we did install LibreOffice. Can I open LibreOffice? It should just work fine. Like, I don't see a reason why it's not gonna work. Yeah, so, you know, it's Linux after all. It will run your Linux applications just fine. Like, I don't think I can give it any points for running Linux applications when it's built on Ubuntu. So that's the least it can do. And they don't have to do any coding on their part to get that to work. Okay, now, one thing that interests me, I want to see how much telemetry this thing is sending back home. So we're going to do an experiment in here. So we're gonna get Wireshark in here. I'm gonna let this do its thing for a bit and see if we capture anything weird and sussy. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna open anything because I don't want to invoke any online connection. I just want to know how often it's calling back home by itself. How often it's just reaching out to Microsoft or Google or wherever. Alright, so I had this thing running for a couple of minutes. Let's see who are we calling home to. This is Google. Any other IPs we see in here? Well, mostly Google. That's kind of weird because I did not open any, I did not open Chrome or any browser or anything. I think they're running their servers in the Google Cloud. That's why it's calling to Google. I want to see what's this one though. 95.2.17.197.184. Head there online. In Germany. Oh, another cloud provider. Yeah, so it's mostly only calling to their proprietary stuff. Alright, so nothing too interesting because everything is encrypted and it's just going directly to their own servers, but the only function we got out there is using Google Cloud and heads their data centers. I think I'm done with this. This is pretty much one of the most useless distros, I think. At least in my opinion, it's pretty much on top there. I mean, there is probably distros that's worse than this, but I really can't really find a good use for this, right? Because they're claiming to be a good Windows replacement, but it's not really functional, is it? One of the biggest reasons why people are stuck with Windows and Mac is because proprietary software. Like, you can't run Creative Cloud on Linux. You can't run CAD programs on Linux. You can't run, I don't know, say Sony Vegas on Linux. There's a lot of proprietary software that can only run on Windows or Mac. And that's why the Linux community is so small. Because it's like kind of like a chain reaction, right? The community is really small because it does not have a lot of like big production software. And also, a lot of software does not get made for Linux because the community is small. In my opinion, like, I can't really find any good use for this. I can't really use it as a Windows replacement because it does not run most of Windows applications, at least the useful ones. I mean, yeah, you can probably run on this, but other than that, if you're trying to try anything productive with it, it's not going to be useful as a Windows replacement. I tried running Android application with that. It did not really work. And even if it worked, then you're pretty much running Android applications within a virtual machine. So the performance is going to be kind of trash. As a Linux machine, I guess it's kind of usable as a Linux machine, but like I don't see a reason why would you ever want to use this as a Linux machine. Because there is a lot more better distros, much more faster, much more cleaner, much more optimized, much more secure, and they are free, right? So why would you want to come here, pay for this just so you can get your data leaked by this company? The only thing I can give them credit for is the theme. I think the theme looks alright, but even then it's not really finished. I take my credit back, you know? I take my credit back. Because even the theme is like, it's very minimal. Like on the surface, if you just log in, it looks immediately like Windows and you're like impressed for like a minute. But once you actually get to play with it, you will see that the amount of work they actually put in is very minimal. Like the only things they did, one did the taskbar, start menu, and settings menu, and icons. Other than that, there is pretty much just a KDE Plasma. So I don't think it's worth. It's just a basic Linux distro with like reduced functionality and reduced security and reduced performance. It's safe to say this is completely garbage in my opinion. It's not worth running, let alone paying for it. So that's about it for this video. I just wanted to take a look at it, and it looked interesting on the surface, but when we dig really deep into it, it's not interesting at all. It's just a basic Linux distro with some themes. I think I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully this was somewhat interesting to you, and hopefully this was informative enough to not fall for like these clear scam distros. That being said, I'm going to peace out, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya.